Welcome to the Fire and Security Chalk Talk podcast. I got a special guest today, Mr. Frank Alvernaz with us. Frank is with Alvernaz Consulting. He's been in the fire alarm industry for what, 20 plus years, you'd say, Frank?
35.
35, man.
35.
Woo-wee. Well, Frank is also the president-elect of the California Automated Fire Alarm Association, we call CAFA. And he's here today talking about a presentation he's putting together for CAFA's annual conference that happens in about a month. So if you haven't heard about it yet, you need to hear about it. So listen, we're going to talk about this presentation, go over a few questions that we have so we can understand a little bit about what you're looking at. His talk is going to be on workforce development and going over our next generation of what?
Of labor.
Of labor, yes. So we got to talk about it. So Frank, as you were looking at your presentation for CAFA's annual conference, the workforce development side, when you were looking at the numbers, what was the statistics that made you realize that we don't just have a hiring challenge, but we have a workforce issue? What made you come up with that, Frank?
Yeah, we haven't. It's not a hiring challenge. It's an industry crisis coming. And you're a business owner. You struggle with labor, finding people, and that's been predominant the last 5+ years, right? I mean, it's hard to find labor. So as I was putting this presentation together, I started just data mining and pulling the numbers, and I was taken back by what I exhumed for the numbers. I knew we were in bad shape, but I didn't know we were this bad. Some of the numbers that I have here that we'll share at this presentation in February at the annual conference for CAFA. This question directly relates to the crisis by the numbers.
That's great.
Right. So the crisis by the numbers, I just have a couple of few bullet points here that we'll talk about. I won't give it all the way. So that way you come to the presentation and get involved and then see what we have to tell you. That I'm sure your job will drop as mine did. A couple of them right here. So currently we have over 8,600 fire alarm technicians in California. By the end of 26, 2,500. Roughly 29% will be eligible for retirement. That's a third of our industry are eligible for retirement, and we're seeing it now. If you see LinkedIn now today, if you watched it all in the last month, you've seen a lot of retirements coming up, mostly in our industry. 50% of the business owners that and this came from NFPA, and I was forwarded by this too. 50% of the business owners cite qualified candidates as their number one challenge. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and then 75% of the companies, right, with 100 plus employees cite that it's a serious challenge. Yeah. With the market growth, 7% by 2030. I mean, the demand is there. I mean, the demand is, we're not going to have enough. By the time 2030 comes, we're going to need 5,000 new technicians just in this industry to handle the workload that we have coming.
And that just goes back to, just to get in the industry is one thing, but to be trained and do the job right, it's going to take that time to ramp up. So if we front loaded with a bunch of people in the industry right now, how long is it going to take us to get them to that next level, to be out there, to be able to run jobs, to be able to do what they need to know, right?
Yeah. So, one of the things that I also identified, which I've known for a long time, 35 years in the industry, and I call this the blind spot, right? This is the blind spot. This is maybe some of us know this industry, but a vast majority of us don't. There is zero visibility to our industry. Zero. In high school, in community college, anyone. We have in California specifically, we have a premier apprenticeship program, WBFAA, and they do a great job. But when they get to the WBFAA apprenticeship program, they've already had to have a job, right? And so most graduating students, anybody that's even after graduation looking for a job, have never ever heard of our industry. So we have, and again, I have some more bullet points here. We have zero visibility with a CTE, right? And that's That's the career technical education side, right? So there's in the state of California, there's 15 CTEs currently right now that are certified. And that's from electricians. I mean, they jumped on board, they knew it, they saw it, right? So electricians, plumbing, HVAC, nursing, fire science, and there's 15 of them certified currently in the state of California, and there's zero for fire life safety, zero for fire protection. And there's no visibility at community college, right? There's it's crazy. And if you look at our industry, the median salary for a technician, $8,000 a year. That's a high. That's a bright look. That's a high salary for most going into the industry. So I mean, we're struggling, and it's a big problem. It's a crisis, as I said.
Well, it's a big crisis. I mean, there's been times, like you said, I've been requested to go to some of these trade schools that have electrical training and speak about fire alarm and low voltage systems and things like that. But out of their 8, 9 week, whatever course it is, they give me 2 hours to talk about fire alarm.
Yeah, and you're one guy.
Yeah. So the visibility side of our industry is not there. We don't have the ability to get these new guys because, yeah, there's electrical and there's things like that, but there's no opportunity for.
No, it's just not being talked to, right? It's plain and simple. We're just not visible. We are as an industry not doing a good job. But when you go to the CTE, right? When you get specifically to the CTEs, the electricals, the plumbings, all, the trades, they saw it. They saw it coming, and they started doing their homework, and they started looking into, hey, how do we get more? And they have apprenticeship programs, and they've had them for years, right? And we've had the WBFAA, and they're sound and calm on the IBW side, right? But it's not specific to fire.
No, not at
It's
all.
not specific to just our industry, and so there's, this leads to like the untapped funding. As I dug into this deeper, the untapped funding blew my mind. I mean, we have the ability to have $1.5 billion at our disposal to create CTE, to create, and this is funding, this is grants, these are propositions that are available to us in the state of California to create a CTE program, working with our local high schools, working with our local community colleges, and again, I'm one guy, you're one guy. It's going to take a lot of us, and we're going to have to get the industry in California. We're going to have to get our members at CAFA. We're going to have to get them involved. And I would hope that they would want to.
Oh, yeah.
Because listen, at the end of the day, we all are going to feel the same thing. We're feeling it now. And so it's going to take a good group of us, with involvement and people that want to stand up and say, I'm here. I want to help.
No, I totally agree. And that's what we have to do as an industry. I mean, and I know that you have some tips and tricks and untapped resources that are out there that you're going to also talk about a little bit at your presentation, is why do you need to be at CAFA's annual conference next month to go over this and sit in Frank's thing. Can you give us a little insight on some of these untapped resources that you found?
Yeah. And again, it was mind blowing to me. Just a few of them here that I have listed, is the CTEIG, right? It's the Career Technical Education Incentive Grant. Okay. It's a grant.
Okay.
And it can range anywhere from 150 million to 400 million a year. So we need to take something like that and all these other ones, and get a program built to start creating the CTE, right, and get in front of the right people, build like a committee that's willing to sit down and work towards these goals. I mean, the money's here. So another one, the Strong Workforce Program, 150 million a year. The Golden State Pathway Program, 500 million allocation. The Proposition 2 CTE facilities, 600 million. I mean, the money's here. Perkins 5 federal funding, 120 million just in California.
That's millions upon millions, almost
$5 million. $1.5 million at our disposal. And we're missing the boat. We missed the boat years ago, but there's no more missing the boat. We need to we need to act.
Yes.
This is what this presentation's about. This is what I want to bring to the attention of the membership. I'm sure everybody's feeling exactly what we're talking about. They just their business, they're running the business. They don't know, they don't know that we have this. I didn't know we had all of this either until I dug into it.
Man, and that's just mind blowing how much finance is out there, how much money's out there. So, with that being said, what's our call to action? What do we need to do as an industry to get this money that's been allocated working for us, right? Because you look around and most of them out there, like you said, have a little gray in their beards or a little bit of that way. And the way NICET sets up their training, right? You got 6 months before you can even take your first test. 2 years before you could actually really work on your own. So if we don't get these guys started today, you know, it's going to take 2 years before we can even really get them out there.
Right. Reality is 3 to 5. And it's really 3 to 5.
That's great.
And again, we're behind, but it doesn't mean we just throw our hands up. We got to start now. Then, the call to action is today. The call to action is right now. In my presentation, and again, I call you to stand up, raise your hand, be prepared to jump into this with me, and we got to get it built. We got to get an avenue, and
Yes.
we got to get down the road and put it all together. Get with the local high schools, get with this, the community colleges. Um, you know, so what I'm looking for, and we'll go through this in depth in the presentation, but there's a couple of things, right? You serve as a CT advisory committee, for the local districts, high schools, offer job shadows, internships, work-based learning. That's huge, right? And I'm sure
Right.
some of us are doing that, right?
Yeah.
I just don't think we're doing it on a scale, and because no one knows and we're not out there, that's a huge, right? Internship, and I know we're working with LAUSD currently with CAFA, right? Which has been a huge opportunity.
That's awesome.
They're looking for us to bring in our industry. They had no idea about our industry until about a year ago. And they've been working with us, you know, all year last year to introduce our industry to their students. They understand they got one of the biggest school districts in the country, right? They understand not every one of those students are going to go to a 4-year college, right? And there's kids, there's students there that will they're looking for trades, but if they don't know, there's 15 of them that they offer at LAUSD. They have 15 that is CTEs. We could be the 16th, and they can offer that to us. Some of the other things, right? Just, it's people raising their hands, standing up, speaking in classrooms, getting us out there, um, you know, going, going to job fairs. I mean, that's a huge opportunity. And then I just need people, we need people in this industry in California, I'm speaking specifically in California, to commit to this program. And again, my presentation I have a 30, 60, 90-day line item already that, how we can go to market, how we can get to the CE. I've got it all listed out. So I've done all the data mining. I've done all the work up front. Now I can't do it alone. You can't do it. No, we need as much help and as much enthusiasm in this to get this going. And it's not going to be overnight. It's going to be something that's going to take a while, and we need to start now. The call to action is we got to start now.
Exactly. And that's why being a part of an association is so important for topics like this, for what's going on in our industry and what we're missing out on currently, right? We don't know about that between the CAFA, the California Automated Fire Alarm Association, or the California Alarm Association. There's multiple associations out there that you need to get plugged into. If you're not part of this any kind of organization or association, you're not getting fed this great knowledge from great people like Frank that's done this research for you, that has a path for success that makes our industry better as a whole.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just us doing our job, doing one project, but what's going to happen over time, right? What's that legacy for us, right? We're building great things and driving down the street and looking at a project that you did a long time ago. That's a great legacy. Oh, yeah, kids, I did that. Right? But how can that go for a longer period? How can that go for a longer?
Well, and it has to, because again, and the numbers don't lie. The data doesn't lie, right? I mean, we're growing at 7% by 20. Imagine, and by this end of this year alone, we're going to lose a third of the workforce. Could you imagine if you lost a third of your workforce? You wouldn't be able to sustain your business.
No.
You wouldn't be able to take the jobs or grow. it's a crisis. John's right. Get involved with CAFA. If you're not, come find out. Come see what it's all about.
Yeah.
The value that you get out of CAFA and organizations such as CAFA is priceless. It's priceless.
Yes, because especially at their annual conference, it's going to be next month. You're not going to just be able to hear great talks from great people like Frank, but you're also going to meet FPOs, fire protection engineers. You're going to learn, see, and meet fire marshals that are in that area, fire plans examiners, things like that. Where if you don't have that current resource, those resources will be there for you. But once again, any association is for only as good as what you put into the association too, right? If you just sign up to be a part of the association, but you don't plug in, you don't lock in, you don't do these things, you're just a member. You're not going to get the great value. But if you plug in and you join and you be part of and you contribute, that's where you unlock all these additional benefits that will help you. Not just the C-level guy or the administrator or the technician. We're good for all those categories here at the association, right?
Yep.
So getting plugged into CAFA, learning more about it on our life safety things, it's big.
Like I said, it's priceless. I've been with CAFA since 2014, and I've learned and grown every year because of the organization. I'm passionate about it, and I tend to believe that the people that continue to be members and they continue to show up and they go to our trainings, they have the same passion.
Yes.
So.
And with that being said, Frank, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and good luck on your presidency. Right? You're going to get 2, 3. How many years is your term?
There is no term limit.
Okay.
So I can't speak to that.
Man,
We'll see how it goes.
we're looking for a great presidency with you, brother. What you got going on, man? This information's great. So once again, where's our conference this year is going to be at?
So that's a good question. It's a new venue this year. It's in Temecula at the Pachanga Casino Resort. It's not part of the casino. It's a whole event center that's on the other side. It's a new venue after over 2 decades of being in Palm Springs. We're excited about it.
It's awesome.
We've heard a lot of excitement about it. So come check us out and sign up. Come in and see what it's all about. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to have trainings. There's going to be presentations such as this one. There's a lot of things packed into 2 days.
Yeah, it is. And if you get lucky enough, there's golf too for those that like golf, right?
Good networking, great golf, great course out there.
And if they were to look us up online or try to go on that, where would they find us online if they wanted to go to register?
You just go to info@cafa.com. Go there. Now you could send an email there, or you could just go to CAFA, California Automatic Firearm Association. Look them up. Click on the page. You can go in there. You can see all of our events. You can see the trainings that are coming up.
Oh, yes.
If you have any specific questions, you can email info@cafa.com. The registration's right on the front page. Go look it up. The agenda's there. All the presentations are there. All the speakers are listed that we're having. Yep. Just go there and look. And again, you're going to also find training. You're also going to find what we got coming up. We have 12 trainings coming up in 2026. Right now, currently, 12 trainings.
One training every month, man. I mean, and it's throughout California. So if you're looking at it and you're in SoCal and you're thinking, oh, all the training is going to be in Central or North Cal, and I don't want to drive that far, right? We do have trainings throughout the state.
Yep.
So it's not all just Southern or Northern or Central, it's throughout. So you need to find that class that fits your, travel schedule to plug into and get to it. Because only way we get better is with education.
That's right.
And that's what this is about. So there's a lot more meetings and presentations are going to be at CAFA. This is just one of them that we got to highlight today. Hopefully we get the opportunity to highlight more things that's coming up in CAFA so you can plug in, lock in, and get educated and get part of the associations. Frank, I appreciate you coming, bro. Thank you so much for this.
Thanks for the chalk talk.
Oh, yeah.
It's important.
And sir, be blessed. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.
Take care.